o'clock. I think it's Thursday. Pretty sure it's Thursday. I heard it was Thursday. So, let's get down to it. Tonight we're going to be doing Handsome Stone's pumpkin soup, but I'm going to change it up just a little bit because I wanted to. There we go. Back to our music. There we go. All right, very cool, very cool. I'm going to get connected to the chat. If you guys can hear and see me okay, I would greatly appreciate it. Rick, what's up? Val, what's going on? Greg Hart, good to see you as well. Let me get connected to this here. Music kind of went out on me just for a second. So I've got to jump back out. And we'll restart that. There we go. Alright, so I'm messing with this music thing, but either way, get down into there. Patsy, what's up? Message already held for review. Uh-oh. Things are already starting to go crazy. But yeah, for those, hey Scotty, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. But for all those folks out there, I just wanted to say, you know, if you guys have recipes and things like that, hit up the email in the bio, send me your recipes. If it's something that I can do in cast iron and I can get done in about an hour and a half, 2 hours, I am, hey, there he is, the star of the show. Handsome Stone, what's going on, Handsome Stone? But yeah, I do read all my emails. I check all the messages. I check everything that goes on to every part of this channel. So if you want to leave me something in there and let me know, you know, maybe want me to try something out, then we'll do the best we can. And I was pretty happy this was very seasonal that Handsome Stone sent me, which was pumpkin soup. But I am going to change it just a little bit. I'm going to add chicken to it because if I figure if I'm adding curry, I'm going to add a little bit of chicken. But other than that, I think that we are just about ready to get started. Let everybody come in for a couple minutes and say hello to everybody. And yeah, let's get into it. William Hurt, what's going on, pal? Good to see you. Rocket Caver. Rocket Caver. Very cool. Came in, said hello. But yeah, so anyway, we're going to get started on this soup. I've never tried this soup before. I've never tried to make it before. I didn't make it ahead of time. I didn't do anything like that. So, and thankfully Handsome Stone is here tonight, so if I start screwing this up, he can let me know that I'm messing it up. So, Frank Morello, what's going on, buddy? How are you? How's it going? Have a question. What became of Cast Iron Chaos? I have no idea, man. You guys, I'm not on hardly any social media other than YouTube. So, I don't know him out of his show, so I couldn't even begin to tell you. Anybody who has, like I said, I have no idea, and I don't want to be the one to, I don't want to speculate because I have no idea. So, anyway, let's see, Scotty. Yeah, Scotty's here. All right, we got a lot of the usual suspects in here, so let's go ahead and get started. Here's my recipe now. Now, Handsome Stone, when you see this, you will notice that I've cut this in half. I did cut this recipe in half. It called for 3 cans of soup. What I'll be using tonight are 3 cans of pumpkin puree out of the can, like Libby style or whatever. If you guys have been watching it all, you guys know that I've been making pumpkin puree for days. I've got probably 8 slabs of puree or pumpkin in there. They basically look like short ribs in there. And so I have pumpkin puree everywhere. So what I did was, instead of 3 cans, I cut that in half, and I have exactly in this container here, I have several different varieties of pumpkin, but I have 22.5 ounces of pumpkin puree in there. And for those who've never spent much time reading the side of a can of pumpkin, most cans of pumpkin is 15 ounces, so his recipe called for 45. I cut it in half, 22.5. So there's that. and we're gonna go ahead and get started on it. I'm gonna have to be flipping this over a little bit because like I said, I've never made this one. So we're gonna start with, and it calls for 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter, 22 ounces of pumpkin puree, 1 medium onion, 4 teaspoons of crushed red pepper. I'm definitely going to take we're going to take that up to the 7th floor on that, from the 1st floor to the 7th floor. And then a teaspoon of curry powder, which I never realized this till today. I've never used curry powder in my life. So this is going to be new for me. We don't have coriander, half teaspoon of that. I don't have any coriander, or I do have coriander, but I still have the seeds that I got from the garden. So that's about what I would consider about, once this is ground up, that's going to be about 1/8 of a teaspoon. And let's see what's in some of the other stuff. So then we've got a teaspoon of minced garlic, which I have right here. I'm going to use dehydrated minced garlic. And let's see, 2.5 cups of chicken broth. I made my own today, and I'll show you guys, I'll run you guys through that. 1/4 cup of brown sugar, 1/4 cup of heavy cream, 1 cup of milk. And that is the ingredient list. Now, one thing I wanted to go over real quick, if I can swing you guys over this way. If you don't have chicken broth, Fuzz Fork, what's up, buddy? William Hertz, everybody's coming in. So I made, it's still kind of hot. I let this kind of cool down a little bit so everything's kind of floated back down to the bottom. But if you don't have chicken stock, or you don't have vegetable stock or whatever, it's super, super easy to make. You just need 4 cups of water. You need 2 bay leaves. You need about 1/2 of an onion, or a couple green onions. If you have that, you can substitute. Then you can also, I use a teaspoon of salt, a tablespoon of pepper. I grabbed two branches of parsley out of my garden, or you can use a tablespoon of parsley. And then I grabbed a sprig of a stalk of oregano out of the garden. If not, you can use 1/2 of a tablespoon of that. And I'm trying to think what else I put in there. And I know I'll think of it. And I hope I said bay leaf, because bay leaf, I threw one of those. I threw 2 leaves of bay leaf in there. And I'm trying to think if there was anything else. And I think that was it. And I just let it kind of sit in there for about 2 hours and kind of cook down. If you guys can see into there, I've let it kind of cool down. And I've got the chicken that I cut up, and I added that in there after about an hour. It's because I wanted the chicken to cook in there and be the sort of that soupy consistency. Joe Rogers, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Chris, what's going on? How are you? The only pumpkin I want is in the pie. That will be Saturday. Saturday we'll be doing Graham's pumpkin pie and pumpkin bread. We'll be doing that Saturday. Let's see. I bet there's pumpkin bubblegum. I've never heard of pumpkin bubblegum. I wonder if they do make that. I wouldn't be surprised though. Yeah, they might. But yeah, and so if you don't have stock, just, celery. I use dehydrated celery seed or celery flakes for mine, or you can use regular celery and a little bit of carrot. I don't keep a lot of carrot around, so I didn't add that, but about a tablespoon of celery flakes, and I threw in a couple cloves of garlic, and voila, I have chicken broth, or as vegetable stock. Either way. So I got that going. So let's get into I'm going to move this to the back and move the pot up to the front, and we'll get started on making this over. And I'm going to set you guys over top of the pot so you can kind of look down directly into it, as they say. Radagast, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. I'm going to turn that on, and I'm using a 5-quart Dutch oven for the folks that have never been here before or wonder about the sizes, or are cookware nerds like I am. So we'll get that lid off of there, set that off to the side, and then we're going to actually, I'm going to cut this onion up real quick. I'm going to cut this onion up. I forgot about that, because I got to look and see how Mr. Handsome Stone does all this. Okay, and that spices. Yeah, okay. So that's what we're going to do. All right. All right. Yeah, I had to do a little, checking this out. I had to do a little reading. And since I'm not the brightest guy in the world, the reading part is a little bit tedious for me. Let's see. Tora, what's up? More like kidney stone. Rad. Yeah. Yeah. There's all kinds of folks in here tonight. So here we go. Cut that off the end. So, and Handsome Stone's recipe called for a lot of onion, which is okay with me because I like a lot of onion. Let me move you guys back over this way. I'm kind of cutting the opposite hand, so we'll move it back right here out of my, we'll get this stand out of my way. There we go. All right, and I'll throw in my glasses so I can see back there. Let's see, what do we got going on here? A kidney stone. Yeah. Okay, so send an email. She's our favorite lady. 5T favorite lady. I don't know, Fuzz. I don't know what that one is. There we go. We'll get that stuff off of there. And that off there. Take that off. I'm just going to peel that whole, I'm not going to sit and fight with that. I'm just going to peel that whole one layer off. Leave that sit. The Halloween, can you guys hear the Halloween music in the background? I'm going to get this pot started to heat up too, as well. Let's see, here we go. There we go. That's that part. It's got a little bit of thread on it too. Put that in the file that under 86. Let's see, anxiety. Nice music, thank you so much. Curl those piggies, honey. I'm gonna leave these out just to keep your attention, Val. Just to keep your attention. There we go. Did you see that, Val? That one got really close. There we go. Yeah, it's getting Halloween. It's kind of throwing me off because we're having trick or treat this Sunday. But so what day would that make that trick or treat's on? That would be next Thursday, I guess. So we get these onions cut up, and then I'm gonna make a little cream cheese dip as well because I've got some sourdough bread, and I was gonna do the sourdough bread when to kind of have at the end, but the recipe I used, I was kind of stuck with it once I started it. Don't want to use it. the number for 911. Yeah, I'll make sure you don't have to use it, at least for that. Okay, so we'll get you guys over top of there. We get that first part done. This way I can read and do everything that I got to do. I've been using my food processor more and more lately to save time. Just put it together. Just put together garlic and such. Yeah, 100%. I just hate my food processor so much. So first we'll go with our 2 tablespoons of butter. There we go. And we'll let that kind of melt down a little bit. You know what? Let me see if I'm gonna do this without. And like I said, Handsome Stone, if you see me doing anything out of sorts, let me know. So I'm gonna do some checking of these spices as we're waiting for that to kind of mince up. Get our tools of destruction together. Go get that butter going around there. Turn that up just a little bit. Read the comment section and see what else is going on in here. Fuzz Fork has cobwebs. I bet you do. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to throw in this coriander in here. Am I going to throw that? Yeah, I'm going to throw that in. I'm going to let that cook down. I'm going to let that cook in there and kind of toast with that. And I can get this one bowl out of my way. One bowl I can get out of here. Nice. Okay, so that's out of the way. And we'll just kind of get that started going around. The heat going up on this thing. That's one thing I don't like about doing this. I got to figure out a way to do it on the other side, because this front burner is small and it doesn't heat up as well as the other one. So let's see. Check the comment section. Not a lot going on in the comment section. So since you guys aren't commenting, just go ahead and take a minute to hit the like button. That would be fantastic. I'm gonna sit and chop up the rest of this onion and read the comments as they come in. Let's see, you seem to be feeling better, Val. Yeah, oh yeah, Val, how are you feeling, Radagast? Yeah, hopefully they got your medications, all your medications that you were worried they weren't getting right. Hopefully they got those right. Handsome Stone's probably losing his mind going, man, you are totally screwing this up. But like I said, I've never made this. I've never had pumpkin. I don't think I've ever had pumpkin soup, to be honest. I've had pumpkin risotto before, which was pretty good, which I think is a little out of my league to make. But it was really good. I don't know how to make risotto, to be honest with you. So let's throw, there we go. Now we're starting to get some bubbling action. That's what we need. Let's see, I have not cleaned house for 7 years, but I put get well cards on my mantle so folks think that I've been too sick to clean. That's a strategy right there. That's a total strategy. That's actually not a bad strategy at all. Not even kind of. That's a great strategy. I should use that. Then I can kind of knock off cleaning out my house so much. Which basically, that really, and I can't lie, my house is trashed. It's been garden, pumpkin, garden, and all that stuff this week. And we've got that coriander in there. And I'm not going to grind it, because by the time I run everything, at some point we're going to run everything through the blender. So I'm not going to have to do that anyway. Let's see. Let me get I'm going to get my 1/4 of a tablespoon of crushed red pepper in there. But I'm not going to use the crushed red pepper right yet. I'm just going to throw in a dehydrated red pepper. There we go. Let that thing get in there and do its magic. Let it get into that butter and let that oil come out. Let's see. Hey, Mary Allen, what's going on? How are you? Mary A. Allen, yeah. All right, so the butter is heating up, which is what we were waiting on. So we want to go ahead and throw in our roughly chopped onions. One roughly chopped onion. There we go. That's out of the way. Put the cutting board off to the side because I'm going to need that here eventually. Throw those in there. That's on that medium-high heat we were talking about. Keep that going. And I tried to write this down as well as I could. Actually, I am going to toss a little bit more red pepper in there. Because like I said, I like spicy, and And this is going to go through the blender as well, so. There we go. And let me continue to read how to do this. Throw this other thing into the dishwasher while I've got you guys over that way. Let's see. And then we're going to do, how long do you say to do that? 4 minutes with the onions. And then start adding the, okay. So we'll give that another couple minutes. Sweat these down. Is the audio okay for you, everybody? Fine, just watching you cook. Oh, okay. Well, hopefully you got a good seat. That's about as close I think as anybody wants to get. So we got that into the butter. And we'll just keep that going for a minute, and I'll get my spices out and ready off to the side. There we go. And once again, I will be using Wildman's spices tonight for the most part, and my garden. So tonight's kind of sponsored by my garden. Get that going. Keep these stirring around. Like I said, and I've got the blender behind me, so at some point we'll be doing some blender. I'm getting ready for the spices here. So we've already got the crushed red pepper in here. We've already got the coriander in here. So we're going to need roughly a teaspoon of curry powder. And I am really interested in this curry powder stuff because I have never messed with it. And I thought at some point I could probably let's see. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to throw this minced garlic in because I'm using dehydrated. I'm using dehydrated minced garlic. So we get that going. There's 1 teaspoon in there. So that's one thing out of the way. Got about 1 more minute on the before we dump the rest of the spices in here. That's coming along pretty well, I think. I kind of like that. Let's see. Eagle Storm Chaser Dutch Weather. Hello, how are you? It's quite a handle you got there. Old man, what's going on? Old man with pan, good to see you. And I tell you what, the old man with the pan, the sourdough stirrers have become indispensable. Little curry goes a long way. Yeah, there's only yeah, Scotty, there's 1 teaspoon of all that. I gotta make sure that I'm doing this right. So, and this is a brand new container. So, and he said to do this for about a minute. And then, so we're gonna let those marinate in there for a minute. And have you noticed anything, Handsome Stone, that I have left out? Yeah, that thing is it. Those things are those sourdough stirrers are pretty, and they're silicone too. I like that because they're not. I thought about getting the wooden ones, but then I was like, man, I don't know. They could pick up a lot of stuff. I mean, I try to keep it all natural, but that might be taking it a little too far. It's a nice color. I like that color. Might add some more crushed red pepper into this because I'm about to add this. I'm gonna have to strain. I'm gonna have to strain off my my broth, and I'm gonna need, I think it's 2.5 cups. Yeah, 2.5 cups of the chicken broth. So let's move you guys over this way just a little bit. Move you guys over to here, and you can see what I'm. And I'm going to try and pull this off without getting this stuff everywhere. And we're still stirring that. We need more cameramen. I need to hire a cameraman. Get like a GoPro for my head. There's two. There's two, and then I need another half. There you go. And there's that. So there's the half cup. And then the stock and the pumpkin, we're going to add that into there, which this is going to be kind of tricky, but I think we can manage it. Let's see here. And that's all, this is some of the pie pumpkin puree. This is some of the field pumpkin puree. This is a little bit of everything puree. But I still have the white pumpkin puree to do, or in there, and that's what I'm going to use for my pie and my bread. There we go. Now let's bring that now. What Handsome Stone is telling me is I need to bring that to a boil and then reduce the heat, and then I'm gonna let it simmer for 10 minutes. So let's do what he says. Pumpkin soup or curry? It's pumpkin soup with curry in it. Yeah. Oh, and I want to get that chicken out of there as well. See, here's what I have left. I'll show you guys what I got left. I'm gonna add this chicken into there too. So I'm gonna add the chicken into there, which Handsome Stone did not call for the chicken, but I'm calling for the chicken because I want to throw that all together. And I think that looks really good like that. That soup, as far as the soup goes, I think that looks really good. I mean, that's a little, thin for soup, but whatever. But I'm gonna dig that chicken out of there, and we're gonna throw that in here, and I'm gonna take that up to a boil, and we're gonna let that simmer in there. So we're gonna slowly drag that up to a boil. Boy, that smells really good. I'm super surprised because I've never made pumpkin soup before. And this smells like really, really good. Really, really good. Let's see. Arrogant eyeball. Let's see. Oh, I missed some of that stuff. Gotta add the chicken. Yeah. Okay, but I am gonna get ready to do that. I am gonna get ready to add this chicken into there. We'll fish the chicken out right now and add that in. I don't need to bring it to a boil that quick. Okay. So let's add that chicken into there. There we go. This is going to be pretty rustic, I can tell you that. We're going to get all that stuff in there. There we go. like lava. It's like lava. It's like a scene from like a 70s sci-fi lava. Okay. There we go. That's it for that. And we'll bring this up to a boil slowly. Man, that smells really good. This is a good idea. I'm really glad. Thank you so much again to Handsome Stone for throwing this my way. There we go. There we go. I like that. Let's see. Let me read all these things. Pumpkin pie maybe next time. Yeah, pumpkin pie is next time for sure. With rice and or homemade biscuit. I've got sourdough bread for this, and we're actually gonna make a little bit of we're gonna make a spread to go along with it as well. Looks amazing. I know that looks great. I'm really down for this. So we're gonna bring that up to the boil. Set that back there. We'll bring that up, turn that up just a little bit, and bring it up to a boil for about a minute, and then we'll let it simmer for 10. There we go. So we'll have to just sort of hang out on that for a minute. Let's see. Sounds good too. Looks amazing. Thank you so much. I think it looks really good. There we go. So we're gonna give that 1 minute, because I don't want to burn this on the bottom, and I'm trying to stay as close to this as possible. And we still have more stuff to add to it. Okay. Because we're gonna blend this up, and I'm gonna have to gonna move a couple things out of the way, because we're gonna throw this in the blender. I might have wanted to do the chicken after that part, but it is what it is. So I'm gonna break out the blend. I'm gonna wipe that little spot. I'm gonna wipe this spot off. Yeah, I should have put the chicken in last. That's right, I made a deadly mistake, but whatever. Read comment section here, it looks amazing. Sourdough is clutch with this, yeah. For warming up on a cold day, yeah, 100%. So we're letting that boil up. We did that for exactly a minute. Let that boil. Okay, now I'm gonna reduce that down to simmer. And I'm gonna give it a good stir while we're in there, so it doesn't stick. You don't want anything to stick. And we'll let that simmer for 10 seconds. Or 10 seconds. For 10 minutes. Leave that to simmer for, if I'm reading that right. And I'm gonna double check whether or not I'm doing this right or not. Thank you very much, Mary. Appreciate it. Okay, so we've got that part. Yeah, I should have done that one part last. I should have put the chicken in last. I don't know what I was thinking. Okay, simmer for 10 minutes and then blend smooth. Return to pan, low heat, add the brown sugar and the milk. Okay, sounds cool. So we'll put I'm a little ahead of myself with the blender. So let's get out a bowl, and we're gonna go ahead and make our cream. I don't know why this sounded so good, but cream cheese, a cream cheese spread to put on the bread at the very end. Okay. Let's see, Zora. What's going on, Zora? Not like you can't pull the chicken out before you blast it with the blades. Yeah, that's true. If that is kind of true that I could do that. Let's see. Oh, and let's mark that for 10 minutes too. Let's let that simmer down for 10 minutes. Timer, 10 minutes. That's kind of thinking the same thing, but a little ground-in chicken isn't gonna hurt anybody. Let's see. So, Fuzz says tomorrow is my famous ramen beef soup from a package. I might chop up an onion. Don't get too crazy, buddy. Don't go too crazy. And definitely don't hurt yourself. Any kind of like out of the ordinary action in your house, like cooking, might throw your cats into a tiz. And I don't want your cats to go into a tiz. So let me grab a bowl so we're not just staring at that. And then we'll throw this cream cheese stuff together right quick. Should need a big, this isn't a big to do either. So we've got that. You guys over this way, just a touch. And 10 minutes should be about all we need before we start putting that into the blender. So we got that. More, yeah. Okay, I already read that part. Okay, there we go. So we're going to take one 8-ounce container of Philadelphia cream cheese, warmed up. Or not warmed up, but it's been sitting out for about an hour and a half. So it should be fairly soft to deal with. There we go. And this is super easy. I like this. And the other thing was, I like it with bread, and I like it with pretzels, and I like it with cauliflower and broccoli. Any kind of fresh vegetable. This is it's a fun dip. Okay, so I've got over here on the side. I'm also going to cut up one more, but I got about half of a green onion that I already cut up for the stock. So we're going to add that half of a green onion, or more of a whole. Yeah, that's about half. That's about half to not quite a whole green onion. And then I'm going to add, where is my dehydrated chives? A little bit of, and then about 1 teaspoon of dehydrated chive. I'm using dehydrated because I don't have fresh. So there we go. There's that. Yeah, you don't want to freak your cats out. And just a little bit. Now you can kind of go overboard with this. So you don't want to, but you don't want to add too much black pepper. Just a slight amount. Because if you put too much black pepper in this will ruin it. Like 100% ruin it. I hate when, because it's harder to go. Yeah, stage fright. Yeah, I can imagine. You don't want that. So anyhow, see what we got going on there. And then just a splash of milk. I might add a little bit more green onion to that. I'm not sure yet. But just a splash of milk. Like 1/8 of a cup. And that's going to be really good with the bread. And I'm going to fork this up with my big fork. Fuzz, what'd you do with my big fork? Can't find it. Smash that down. Just fork that together. And we'll use a spatula too. I just like to smash this. Get that stuff incorporated in there. I do think I am going to add another green onion to this deal. Because I just happen to have a green onion. I'll see how it looks. And for those of you out there that are like, oh man, that looks remarkably horrible. It'll look good here in a minute. And it tastes great. It's just like the Philadelphia onion and chive that you get from the grocery store. Yeah, we'll need a little bit more milk. That cool milk kind of set it up just a little bit. Just need to work on the curled fingers. I guess so. I guess I gotta work on the curled. I still don't even know what that, in all honesty, I still don't know what that means. I have no idea what curled fingers means. If it's like knuckles up or what. but it's got to mean something, but I don't know what that is. One of these days, I'll I'll quit being so lazy and I'll actually look and see what that means. Because I really don't know what it means. But since I spent like no time, my only culinary school experience was I had my college roommates were culinary arts students. That's it. So we got that in there. And now that we've got that to that point, I'm gonna switch it up and I'm gonna use a spatula and do that. But I am gonna drop just a little bit more milk in there. Boom. Is that a little better? Let's see. Like and sub. Yes, please, like and sub. We are really close to 1,000. Like, I can't believe how close to 1,000 we are. As fast as we've gotten almost to 1,000. To be really honest. We're getting there. And that's when all the good stuff happens. You get to 1,000 subscribers, that's when everything gets better. Let's see. Read these comments right quick. You gotta curl this. You gotta curl those. I got curled fingers. Something in the broom. I don't know. Sorry, Fuzz. It scrolled by me. So you don't get caught under the moving blade. I kind of figured that's what it is. Let's see, looks like something being made. Yeah, sir. I'm making cream cheese dip right now. I'm gonna keep it real. There she is. What's going on? Good to see you. How are you? I saw that Steven Strawn hit 100,000. Oh, okay. I didn't know he still made videos. I've watched his stuff, but I didn't know that he ever did. Let's see. I'm great. How about you? I'm getting through it. So far, so good. I can't complain too much because if I did, nobody'd listen anyway. All right. So now we can kind of get that whipped together. I don't like using a whisk for this because all it does is I just end up cleaning the whisk off the whole time. So I just find it just to be easier. And this is nice for when you do it and then you set it into the into the refrigerator for a little bit to chill. Which, let's see how we're doing on time. We got about a minute, about 2 minutes till we start blending up our soup. And then we'll add the cream and the milk, which I gotta be honest, Handsome Stone, I almost forgot to write milk on there. I was rereading about 20 minutes before we came back on, and I was looking at it and I was like, I know there's milk in this. So there we go. There we go. Keep going, get the rest of that stuff off the side. See how it looks for the onion. While I'm thinking about it, I think I am just gonna cut up just a smidge more onion and throw in there. Just a smidge. Oop. Gotta curl my fingers. I'm gonna get in trouble. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of that the top piece for the color of it. So that dark green really makes it a little more appealing looking. But I am going to stir in just a little bit more onion into there. There we go. And I'll chop that. There we go. Toss that in there. There we go. Just to make it honest. There, that looks a little nicer. Now you can really see the onion in there. Okay. Set that off to the side. Where's my fork? There we go. There we go. All right. There, that's done. What do you think? I like it. I think I'll take it. Always thought I called living. I call it learning. Oh, I must have missed something. I must have missed something. But I always usually do. Those ain't getting old. They just always smell funny. That's funny in itself. Okay. So I'm going to set this off. I'm going to chill that into the fridge. Even though I like the consistency of it right now. And then we'll blend this up. We'll get all this blended in there. And we'll bring out kind of move this back. And you guys like right. I think that'll be okay. We're going to be okay right there? I think so. All right. And I got to get well, I guess I have a rag. But when you do this, when you do these, you do something hot in the blender. Make sure that you take, once you fill it up, you take this top off and you cover it with a rag. Because if not, if you compress that in there, you could, I'm not saying you will, but you can blow the top right off. You can blow the top will pop off and then you'll be stuck with a mess everywhere. Especially if you're not holding it down. So, just saying, you do what you want in your kitchen. All right. Okay, I heard you. Okay, so that's ready for that. But I do like to start it with that on there, and once it's going, I start with it on there, and then I take it off and put the rag over top. So let's do that. In the meantime, I'm gonna take, as I'm spooning this in, I'm gonna take the chicken back out. I know that's really bizarre, but I want that chicken, I want to be able to see the chicken in there. And I lost the, no I didn't, there's the spoon. The spoon's there. Okay, so I'm gonna, since this thing is so bulky, I'm gonna ladle that in there. Move this over this way. Get it close. Yeah, get it close. All right, bring you guys over. Sorry if I'm messing up the shot, but one camera. I'm low budget here. So there we go. Down the lid. Yeah. I don't know how well that's going to work out, but I'll give it a go. And there's not much chicken in it. There's only a half pound of chicken in this whole thing, so it shouldn't be too much. Take out a little bit of the chicken to add it back in for the way it looks. I'm not going to take all of it out. I just want to take some of it out. There we go. Because this is really just a vegetable soup. Really vegetable-y anyway. There we go. Add that into there. This is where an immersion blender would be really cool. But I'm not cool like that. I'm not cool enough to have. One of these days. Okay. Ooh, there's a big piece of chicken. I'll take that piece out. So we have the illusion. We'll have the illusion that there's chicken in here without necessarily having the chicken in there. And I think this is going to fit really well into the blender, as far as I can tell, as far as I know. And about one more scoop of that, and we should be cool. There we go. All right, yeah, and there's not much left. There's not enough left in the pan to really worry about, so I'm not going to do that. Get that started. That little bit back in there. You guys lined up okay? Yeah. Let's see, check out the comment section before this, because this is the part I feel like this is where it all goes awry. Let's see, having a cream instead of milk in your dip. Yeah, you could do that, 100%. I've just always done it with milk because it's so high in calorie anyway that I've just sort of not put it in there. Let's see here. Here we go. And it doesn't get anything on the top. It's not going to sit and blast on the top of your stuff either. The air out before you take the top off, and then we'll move this around just a little bit. Get another rub silicone spatula here. That mix. I kind of like that chicken in there, to be honest. Kind of made it. I can see it in there. It's hard for you guys to see, but I have to have my cameraman enact the overhead drone cam as we do this. Okay, so let's. No, I'm not lactose intolerant. Definitely not. I'm not intolerant of anything food-wise, I don't think. I don't like red onions very much. But other than that, I'm pretty okay with most things. Let's try that again. Shake that up. I don't want to fall for it. I'm afraid I'm going to fall for it. I'm going to like take the top up, and then it's going to be right there. It's going to pop. It's going to do the volcano. That looks pretty good though. I don't think I need to really blend that down anymore. There we go. I think that's pretty good. I think I'll take that. So that's where we're at right there. Let me just put the lid back on there and kind of, so I don't get surprised. There we go. Okay. Cool. I will take that. I'll take that and run with it. We good? Can you guys see in there okay? Yeah, that's not bad. It's piping hot though. Carlos Casanova, what's going on, buddy? There's no salt in this. But I do appreciate you showing up, keeping an eye on things. So we'll pull this back in there. There we go. And let's check the schedule of ingredients here. One thing I am going to do is I'm going to drop a little bit more. There we go. Get that stuff off there. Taste it. That's pretty good. Ooh, it's got a little spice on the back end. Not much, it's not overpowering, but a smidge. It's got some spice on the back end there. I'm gonna put just a little bit more broth in there. There you go. Right over top of that. I'm gonna give that, I'm gonna turn this back up to, now it should say, and I'm gonna drop some of this chicken back into there. There we go. Check the comments section. I made burritos for lunch today and made a sauce with hot salsa and yogurt. Ooh, that sounds really good. Let's see, I'm on my way. 8 hours. There should be plenty still. Let's see, the curry is very spicy. It's not, you know, that's the thing. I've never messed with curry before, so I didn't know what to think about it, but I don't think, right now I'm not thinking that it's that hot, to be honest with you. I'm not thinking that spicy. I might actually throw a little bit more crushed red pepper into there and kind of spring it up. Okay, so let me get back to our playbook here. Let's see, return it to low heat, which I just did. And now we're gonna add our brown sugar, which is a quarter cup. Quarter cup of the brown sugar. It's got a good taste, and like I said, I've never messed with curry before or pumpkin soup, and I'm actually pretty surprised. I'm actually surprised on this, and I'm not done yet. So there we go. Had to reopen the brown sugar. But yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised where this is all going. So let me get this brown sugar into here. So I got a quarter cup of that. I would dip raspberry in that for sure. You know what? That's not a bad idea, really. But this is going to thin out. I've still got milk and cream yet to put in this. So there's that. And I've got, where's my little side spatula? There we go. But here's light brown sugar, quarter cup before I put the rest of it in there. So quarter cup of brown sugar. And brown sugar. Then I'll have to flip it over to see how much milk we need. I think, yeah, it's a cup of milk. I thought it was something pretty similar to that. Okay. All right. I'm gonna let that sit there for a minute. Yeah, I could have put a little more chicken in there, and I added chicken to it too. So, okay, so we got that part out of the way. Handsome Stone. Mine usually is not as thick. No complaints though. Well, I think that Handsome Stone, that's probably because the chicken was in there. And we haven't used the milk yet either. But there was 2. I think you called for how many cups? It was 4 or 5 cups of broth. Was it? Yeah, and there was ground chicken in there. So there's probably about a quarter pound of chicken into that. I'll throw a little bit more of this into there. Give it just a little bit more color. We'll let that sit a second. Mine usually is not as thick. Yeah, it looks good. Thank you very much. Curry is more sweet than hot. Yeah, there's, like I said, I don't know what to think about curry. I mean, I read the back of it, and there's nothing that's, you know, there's nothing on it that seems to be too hot. I mean, fenugreek, if anything, that just tastes, I mean, I grow fenugreek in the garden, so, I mean, if anything, that has more of a celery taste than anything. Let's see. Yeah, and the homemade, yeah, and that, you know, that could be something too, because this is very like highly strained. I strained this out really, really well, because when you use fresh pumpkin, you really got to make sure it's not wet or it will ruin everything. Okay, so let's see, yeah, I got 2.5 cups, so let me get 1/4 of a cup of cream into this. Let's see, where's my mixing tools. So I need a cup of milk as we're bringing this back up to temperature. I need 1 cup of milk, right? That's funny, I just about have 1 cup of milk left in this container. Okay, so we've got that. There we go. And then 1/4 of a cup of heavy cream. I gotta get in the refrigerator for that. Luckily I was gonna make whipped cream for my pumpkin pie. There we go. So I just happen to have heavy cream laying around. There we go. And we'll add that into there. And we'll start bringing that back up to the heat. That's looking really interesting. See, now we're thinning out. And let me make sure there's nothing else at the end. Okay. All right, cool. How are we doing so far, handsome stone? Let's see, my favorite curry dish is butter curry grilled and stuffed chicken. What are we doing? Like I said, I've never even, that's the first jar of curry I've ever owned that I just got from the butcher shop. From Wildman Spice Company in New Hampshire, Ohio. There we go. And what does the screen say? Ming says hello. There we go. I think that's pretty, I'm going to give that a taste. I really want to find something in here to kind of taste on that. That's good. That's pretty good stuff. That's going to be really good with some bread dunked into it. So we're going to bring that up to, I'm going to move a couple things. I'm going to move this blender base out of the way. And we're going to move the milk cartons and everything else. We're going to kind of clear off our mess. We'll get ready to plate some stuff up. I'm going to cut up some bread. We'll get our thing back up there. Strong's Adventures, what's up, buddy? How are you? Good to see you. This is kind of, like I said, if I had no idea what it would taste like. So now that I'm tasting it, I'm really surprised by it. To be honest, I thought it was going to be it's got the spices on the back end. Like when you first taste it, it's got almost like a sweet taste. But, you know, I'm using a blend of pumpkin from the garden, so it's not, you know, you're not getting the like the general flavor that you would get from the can of pumpkin. But then at the back end of it, it's got a kick. It's interesting. Let me try another little taste of that. Wow, that's different. I can tell you that. I've never tasted anything. It almost reminds me of potato soup. That's honestly what that's what it tastes like, in a sense. I mean, it kind of has that same consistency as a potato soup. Let me turn this up just a little bit more. And like I said, I'm going to move a lot of this stuff out of the way so we can cut our bread, which was my first attempt at regular sourdough bread. Every time I've made, if you guys have seen the bread that I've made, like in the community post, I've been using a dinner roll recipe for that, and I really like it using it for bread. But today was an actual bread, my second attempt at making sourdough bread. Now I gotta tell you, my starter, I'm really good at making starter, but this bread thing, it needs a little work. When's the last time you've had this, Handsome Stone? That you've had this pumpkin soup? Last year, probably. Let's see. Yeah, Strong's very cool, very cool. Okay, so we'll put that on there. We'll let that heat back up, and then I'm gonna move. I've pretty much moved everything where it needs to be. I'm just gonna throw the lid. I'm gonna get my plate down and my bowl down, and then we'll move. Then we'll move over and cut up some bread. So let's get the lid on that. Move you guys over this direction here to where the plate is at. Well, we've done all this in like an hour. That's crazy. That's really, I really thought this would take a lot longer to do. So thanks to Handsome Stone for not only a cool recipe, but a quick recipe. Let's see, stirring the heavy cream, got everything stirred in. I'm just making sure that I didn't move, that I didn't miss anything, which I don't think I did. I don't think at this point that I did. So we'll get that out, and we'll get out our cream cheese dip and get that into there. Put that into here. There we go. That's probably enough, and then some. That's probably plenty of cream cheese dip. And then we'll get out the get the bread out and get the board out, and we'll cut up some bread as we're waiting on that to get up there. But I just made this, I think it came out of the oven at about 3 o'clock this afternoon. There we go. Okay. Sourdough loaf right there, and we'll cut a little bit of that up. Right, I guess, well, I don't drink coffee, but I use heavy cream a lot in stuff I cook. Yeah, I had heavy cream, and I just had a cup of coffee, 2 cups of coffee. I was thinking about Val. I had, at 5 o'clock, I made 2 cups of coffee, and I did have heavy cream in those. Let me get my bread knife out. There we go. Let's see, you bake that loaf of bread yourself. Looks so good. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it real. I just made this, it just came out of the oven. I wanna say 2 o'clock maybe. We'll see how it really looks. This whole sourdough, I'm getting really good at, I'm good at making the starter and keeping the starter together. But, let's see how it looks on the inside. But baking the bread, it comes out just a little bit flat. It's not as airy as I'd like it to be. And I don't know what that is, if I'm just overproofing it. But I also take it out a little bit early when it gets to 195 instead of 210 like they recommend it to be, because I like my bread I like the bread a little bit chewier than crisper. That's why it's not that real dark, the real dark color. There we go. Let's see, you can, I mean, it's airy to an extent, but I don't give it that brown. Plus I threw the ice cubes in there. And if you don't throw the ice cube, if you want it to be less chewy, less soft, then you don't put the ice cubes in. I put the ice cubes in at the beginning to add some steam, and then it makes the bread it makes it more like loaf bread than a crunchy, crispy, and it's not as crumbly either. That's the other thing I like, is that it's not as crumbly. But I also like sourdough bread that's crispy and spongy and all that too. And you know, as I get a little better at making sourdough bread, I'll mess with it because God knows I make the starter every day. Okay, so got that. Put my bread away. There we go. And read the comments a little bit. Let's see. You are your toughest critics. Yeah, yeah. That's why I don't really worry about what's being said in the comment section about my cooking as far as negative. I just I sit here and like beat myself up over stuff that I made like 3 weeks ago. So anyway, let's take this over to here. Artie, what's going on? Cast Iron Adoptions. Our good friend Artie Bliss is here, and he is here and present. So there we go. There's that. Let me see if I can't take you guys up just a little bit. We'll move you back a little bit. There we go. There, that way we can kind of get the whole thing in there. Is that better? But yeah, and please, if you guys could take a second and hit the like button, that would be fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and check where we're at with our soup. I think we should be pretty much ready for the soup as well. Spicy pumpkin. Oh yeah, that's plenty. Here we go. You guys see that? Okay. That's looking really good. This is not what I expected, but I'm happy that it is. If that makes any sense. It's not what I expected, but I'm happy that it is what it is. Because it smells really good. I mean, it's got almost like a potato soup smell to it. And it's got a great consistency. It's not real, if you guys can see that, it's not super runny, but it's not like syrupy thick. The consistency's cool. So let me get a little bowl, let me get my bowl going. There we go. I think that should be about enough for this round. I'll be eating on this tonight. I'm gonna be making pumpkin puree till, I don't know what time, till the break of dawn. So, and let me get a knife out to spread on, and then we'll spread on some of our cream cheese, and away we go. It's not being able to get you guys in there all the way. There we are. That's pretty close. So we'll put on some of this cream cheese onto this. That's looking pretty good. I love this dip. It's like my favorite spread. Spread, dip, whatever you want to call it. And there we go. Just a little bit for the end. There we go. Put that up here with this. Man, I like that. Grab my drink. Grab something to drink there. You guys see that okay? Yeah. There we go. Hey, Jody. Hey, Jody. What's going on, Jody? I gotta get with you about having that blanket made. A little lemonade going on. All right, let's try it out. Start with the dip first and let the soup cool a little bit. Yeah, Strong's the end is the best part. I love that part. Yeah, that's good. The bread, the dip is really good. And the bread's really good. Bread's really chewy. Give this a taste test. I'm not going to try and drag the soup all the way over here, sorry. Oh wow, that's really good. And it's got that little bit of spice. It's got that little bit of spice on the back end. I like that. Ooh, and I got a little piece of chicken in there. Yeah, it's like a lot of different flavors at one time. And then at the very end, it has like that spice that you don't get at the beginning, but you get at the end of it. It's kind of weird. It's not weird. I shouldn't say weird in a bad way, but it's like, you don't think it, you know what I mean? You're just really not thinking of that when you have it. I don't know. It's cool soup. I like this. I would make it again. Because there's like when it first hits your palate, there's a little bit of sweet from the pumpkin, and then you get the savory, and then you get heat from it. I'm gonna try to dip my bread in it. This would be really good with croutons. Like if you had a crouton, like if I'd have made croutons, that would be really good in this bread. I call it the heel. That's what I call the end of the bread, the heel. Yeah, that's what I call it. I'm gonna dunk that again. That's really good like that. I might just end up cutting up like the rest of this loaf of bread and throwing into that. That's really cool like that. I like that. Wow, that's really good. I like that. Let me see. Let me check comment section here. Strings. Oh, speaking of strings, what happened to my music went away? I don't know what happened to that. What's we do? Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with that. Yeah, it just all of a sudden gave out. Yeah, it just all of a sudden gave out, didn't it? Yeah, I don't know why that was. Hold on a second. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Back to the music. All right, yeah, I was like, man, it's really quiet in here. Okay. Back to the tasting. That's really, man, it's just different. And honestly, there wasn't a whole lot of prep to it other than I made my own stock. It didn't take long. I mean, we're at like an hour and 20 minutes into the whole thing. So that's not bad. That's not bad at all. And very seasonal. I definitely take that. Yeah, good night, Barbara. We'll see you guys later. Cut your bread and cream soap and soap. Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, I'm not going to do it right now because I've already got these two, and that's my bread. But yeah, that's really good. I'm going to get another taste of this. And the chicken, like I said before, Radagast's recipe didn't have chicken in it, but I do like the chicken in there. And it just has that. The profile is so. The taste profile is so like. It just comes in waves. It's like sweet, then savory, and then spicy. And then you're ready for the next bite. And then you're ready to like dip your bread in it. Yeah, that's good. I like that. Everybody hit the like button for Handsome Stone, because yeah, I like that. I like that, Handsome Stone. You did good on that one. And like I said, I definitely, if you guys have recipes to send in, or there's things that you like and you think I can make it in one cast iron and two in 90 minutes, send it to the email and I'll give it a try. Not the average white girl pumpkin spice. This is for the above average. Yeah, this is pumpkin soup for the sexy people. That's what I'm thinking. 150%. G'day, Mercy B. Glad to see you. If you can stop back again. Taste takes slightly longer with a full batch. Oh, I bet it does. But I'm glad I made it that. I'm glad I made that size, which is still a lot. I mean, that's a lot of soup. I mean, take the lid off, and in a 5-quart Dutch oven, that's what we made. So it's quite a bit. It's quite a bit. There we go. All right. I bet the chicken. Yeah, the chicken. I wish I would have thought to not put the chicken in at that one point. I just, like I said, I've never made this recipe, so I wasn't like looking at that kind of step, a step that wasn't in the recipe, and it kind of threw me off. But overall, I mean, I like it. I really do. Yeah, it'd pair well with a lot of things. I mean, it really would. It tastes, and it's, overall, I mean, there wasn't anything bad in it. A little milk, little cream, pumpkin, some spices. I mean, it's not, nutritionally sound, which I really dig on that. Yeah, there's not much, you can't really complain about that meal. But I'm going to cut off one more piece. I'm going to cut the other heel off the end of the bread, and I'm going to just dip it in without the spread on it. And the other thing is, I mean, if you guys want seriously a really good spread, that cream cheese spread is really good and super easy. I mean, you guys saw me make it, and it took like no time. The hardest thing about doing it is letting it sit on the counter for an hour to warm up. But I'm going to do that with just the plain part of the bread. I'll switch this around. There we go. So it was an 8 out of 10. I would say in all honesty, I would say it's a 7-8. If I would give it the Dave Portnoy, if I was going to go the Dave Portnoy scale, I'd give it a solid 7-8. I think there's, I think letting it would sit longer. I think if I would have let it stew a little bit longer, that would have helped. That would have made it. That would have brought out more of the flavor. But I'd say as it sits, I'd say it's a solid 7-8. There's nothing, and that's a huge score. That's a huge score. Yeah, it's good, man. It's just hard. It's hard to describe it, actually. If you've never had, like me, there's the only thing I can compare it to is like a really good potato soup. That's the only comparison, because I've never had pumpkin soup, and I've never used curry either. So I'm trying to process two flavors that I've never had together. But yeah, it's definitely a monster score, 7-8. A lot of these messages are being held for review. I don't know what that's all about. Man, that's good though. Yeah, I'll take it. I just can't stop taking taste. I just want to keep tasting it, to keep processing the taste, because it's so good. It's got such a splash at the beginning, and then it's got that it's got that bite at the end. That is definitely different. There's so many things to do with that soup. Yeah, there's a ton, man. And just eating it, it's pretty, and it's so seasonal. Like it just feels like fall. Like it feels like Halloween and Thanksgiving time. That's exactly what it tastes like. Let's see. Gonna make you potato soup. Yeah, 100%, man. Let's see. I always use butternut squash for cooking, and also raw with a veggie dip. Okay, cool. But yeah, I can't get over the flavor profile of this. Yeah, that's really good. That's really, really good. Really, really good. All right. But yeah, so on to part 3 of the pumpkin marathon. Saturday evening. Look for the next pop-up. We're going to be doing Graham's pumpkin pie and possibly some pumpkin bread. It's going to be pumpkinlicious. And then Sunday will be our normal time at 11 a.m. Sunday for the fourth installment of the pumpkin marathon, which has been going great. I've been loving it. As long as it's not like all the pumpkin spice stuff that pops. No, it doesn't have it doesn't have any of that other stuff. It doesn't have, with the curry and the coriander and all that, it doesn't have a pumpkin spice flavor. Which really is, a lot of it's just cinnamon, nutmeg, and kind of a clove flavor. But not this. This is really good, man. I'm really happy with it. And this will be good, it'll be good to snack on the rest of the night while I'm doing my thing. Yeah, so thanks again, Handsome Stone. Thanks for not only just sending me the recipe, but the really, really, really detailed instructions. I mean, he had a whole page of how to do this, and you guys saw my chicken scratch card, but I mean, in all honesty, he had a really, really detailed card sent along with exact instructions on how to make everything. So, I mean, that made everything a lot easier. There wasn't a lot of trial and effort or trial and error in it because it was already done. There's a piece with the chicken in it. Yeah. What time on Saturday? I'll be going on a turkey shoot probably around 7 p.m. 7 p.m. on Saturday evening. I thought about doing it tomorrow night, but I know a lot of people, they have high school football, so a lot of people do high school football. I think more people do high school football than they do college around the country, honestly. Let's see, have to try and make great winter as well. Yeah. Have to try and make great in winter as well, I would imagine. Oh yeah. I think it'd be really good. 100%. Handsome Stone, wife doesn't try new things, but she is liking this one. Yeah, I mean, if you want to try something different, I mean, this is something I would definitely make this again. And I'm really, like I said, I'm really looking forward to tonight. I mean, kind of snacking on, just eating this as I'm doing everything out here in the kitchen. And it's really good for you. And it doesn't taste like something that's supposed to be really good for you. It just tastes. It's got a sweet, savory flavor with a little bit of heat at the back end. I'm really digging it. But anyway, we've been doing this about an hour and a half. I'm gonna let everybody get back to their Thursday night. I'm gonna get I'm loving the one thing I'm really digging about this is there's minimal cleanup. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. So Handsome Stone, thank you so much again, man, for sending me this the recipe, the detailed instructions, and sharing this with me, man. It's a pretty cool recipe that you have tucked away in your own personal recipe box. So I appreciate that as well. Yeah, Radagast. I mean, I wish you were here too. There's enough to go around. But anyway, so let's jump off here, and I will see everybody on Saturday. Keep your notifications on, because I'm not sure when I'm exactly going to be on, but I'll be there Saturday evening. So anyway, but yeah, thanks everybody for showing up, man. Thanks Radagast and William Hurt and Strong's Adventure, and thanks to Rick Stunball and Greg Hart for doing a great job as mods tonight. I really appreciate that. Pat Z, Mercy V. So Carlos Casanova, he came in for a little bit, which was pretty cool. So I appreciate all that. RT Scott was here tonight. That was pretty cool. And just everybody who's always keeps showing up and banging out that like button and hanging out for the whole thing and saying hello. This is what it's fun. It's fun to hang out with you guys on Thursday night and have dinner with everybody. So anyway, I'm going to jump off here. Scotty from H-Town. Thank you, buddy. Thanks you so much for showing up. But I am going to jump off here, and I will see you Saturday in the comments section. All right. See ya.